There were four couples who were friends. They all had similar jobs and a similar neighbourhood, similar lifestyles, and each had two children, and they all went to the same school, and the couples all got on really well. They knew each other and shared life together, and life was good. One day, one of the men who worked for his uncle had an accident at work. His wife had just been made redundant, and so it was a crisis on crisis. The accident was so bad that even though he recovered some of his abilities, he was never able to work fully again, suffering fatigue and permanent problems with his body. When he was feeling a little better, the couples got together and said, let's have a meal, let's have a time of celebration that at least life is semi back to normal. This first couple who'd suffered the tragedy came, and all they could afford to bring was a bag of chips. The others, of course, bought shared food, and together they had a reasonably enjoyable meal. But the couple who had suffered such loss had to leave early because of his health. Once he'd left, a great discussion ensued. They talked about the tragedy, and one couple said, well, I'm glad it wasn't us. Another couple said, we really should do something for them. And the third couple said, yes, absolutely, we should do something. The first couple went on to say, but I really couldn't give much now. We're trying to pay off our mortgage as fast as we can with any cent we've got spare. Yes, said the second couple, but I think we should try and give something, even if it's just $20. The third couple said, absolutely. Yeah, we could all be in the same boat. Let's put in, I think $20 is great. We could make that work. $20 a week. That's $60 between the three of us. Wouldn't that be great? The second couple said, I didn't mean $20 a week. I meant $20. And the first couple said, well, if I had $20, it'd be going straight off my mortgage. I'm not giving $20. And so the discussion ensued. No one could quite agree on what should be done, so they agreed to disagree and do their own thing. The first couple did nothing. The second couple had great intentions of giving $20 or something, but it never quite happened. The third couple straight away set up a payment and decided their 20 could stretch a bit further and maybe even 30. So they put in $30 for this other couple and made it anonymous. They didn't know. But they didn't stop there. They kept visiting, and every time they visited, they would take some food, a pot roast or a lasagna or something, to try and help them along the way. And they did keep in touch, as all couples did. Till one day, there was another tragedy. A virus hit that was so bad that it locked the country down, and all of these couples went into isolation. And all of them lost their jobs. They were all in the same boat. A double tragedy hit the first couple who had these injuries. They, sadly, had lost their uncle. The same uncle that he'd worked for when he was injured and he couldn't work any longer. As time went on, the couples got together and life got worse. The mortgages were on hold and none of them still could find work. The couple who'd had the tragedy got together with the others and said, look, I've got some news to share with you. And so over a meal he shared his news. The uncle that he'd worked for, who had died, had left his business to the injured man and his wife. And not only that, he'd left his house to them. You see, during that time of his injury, their mortgage had failed. They'd had to sell the house and move into a council flat. A small council flat that was really not adequate for their needs. But now they had a house, a lovely house, and a business. But he couldn't run the business because he was injured. So he said to his friends, you've all been supportive in your own ways through this time, but I need someone to run the business for me. And so he turned to the third couple and said, you've been so generous, you've been kind in times of your own hardship, so I'd like to give you the prime position of manager and the salary that goes with that. To the second couple who had great intentions but never quite got across the line. Great intentions are never as good as one good action. But he said, your heart is right, and so I put you under the manager for him to teach you and to train you, and gave him a medium salary. And to the couple who had not given anything, not wanted to, who were selfish and self-centered, he said to them, I'm sorry, but I can't give you a position in this company. I'd like to, but you are just not right in your heart attitude. And so the two couples who had been given a job were able to save their mortgages, move on with their life, while the couple who couldn't give in a time of need was measured in the same way. They lost their house. They ended up having to move into a council flat. You see, it was the same council flat the first injured couple had been in. And now this new first couple were there. And as they came in, to greet them was a card welcoming them to this house. And next to it was a bag of chips. Matthew 7, chapter 2, sums us up quite well by saying, those of you who judge will be judged in the same way that you have judged. But more than that, the measure that you have measured others with, the measure that you have given to others, in the same way will be the measure that you will be measured with. This is Andrew, and this is one of my Roo rants. Don't forget to subscribe, and I do hope and pray that you recognised yourself in someone there. Shalom.